Da-da-dee-da.
Okay.
Yes, please confirm we are now live on the new and alternate, vastly improved stream, because I couldn't be asked opening up a monitoring window. Check, 1, 2. Are we live? 1, 2, hello?
Now this whole button thing.
Yes, well, you would click on scroll up.
Up?
Yes.
There is nothing further.
Okay, scroll down. Excuse us while we talk amongst ourselves. Welcome to fucking amateur hour. Just click that.
Which one?
That one.
Oh. Oops, wrong one. Should I unclick this? No?
No?
All right.
There you go, and there it is.
Okay.
Magical.
Gotcha.
That's the mouse button from hell that doesn't work, and that's possibly the issue. Yes, so confirmation that we are live from somebody would be nice.
It says we're live, but
it says we are.
You don't have the window open
Maybe
today.
we should open one.
It seems to be rolling now. Thank you, Mark.
Good. Right, thank you, Mark. We are here, and we'll just talk amongst ourselves until everybody works out where we are. Technical issues here. There we go. Money straight away. Love it. Love it. Anyway, yes, welcome to the second attempt at the weekly live stream, where today I shall be mostly wearing my fluffy brown pajama jams, it being a Sunday morning and I couldn't be asked. Ted also is similarly not showing much interest in the show today so far, is he?
It's your teddy bear costume.
So I've got a teddy bear costume on, yes. Or it could be an Ewok, couldn't I? Waka, 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 waka.
Waka, waka.
Wagga wagga, I think is what
Good.
Ewoks say. I don't know. What are Ewoks? Do they speak Ewokese or what?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dr. Abs is loving the Ewok outfit.
Good. See, he knew straight away. He and I think the same way on many things. Yes. Yes, indeedy.
Excellent.
Doodly. Right, okay, so clearly, lucky the second time, we are up and rolling. That is good. We'll let Her Majesty Pim, Queen of Pirates, who's staying to get dressed, out of her pyjamas today. You can run the show as normal, as if nothing's gone wrong. Yeah.
Yes. There were a few questions on the first stream that I will read without putting them on the screen.
No.
But first we have a super chat.
Oh, yes, good. Super chat.
So those go first, obviously. So, Juliet says, I went to tune into the live stream and it said it ended 5 minutes ago. Reloaded and it says it's upcoming. What's this YouTube fuckery?
I think on this occasion it was fuckery at this end, based on a mouse button that clicks sometimes and otherwise doesn't click. I've swapped out the mices. I've swapped them out 3 times for all different ones, and it's the same issue, so it's something to do with the software, so I'm going to have to trace it back. You'll also notice there's a state of disrepair.
Really?
Disrepair. We are actually poked into a cupboard somewhere at the back of the palace today. We'll talk about. Well, we're actually not even at the palace. We're not there yet. We'll show you some pictures from Pimbatia later. Got a few of those for you. In the meantime, yes, Pim, do some progress. Make it happen.
Do some progress.
Yes, make it happen.
What the fuck?
Yes, good.
So I shall. Oh, hello, dog.
Hello, dog. Snoozy McDog.
I have lost the questions now because you fucked around with this window.
You fuck around too much, she says.
Yes.
She says to me, you always fuck around.
I want to click on it, but...
You can't click on it.
Well, he's not here, so I'm not going to answer. And the other person that actually put it in managed to get the same question in on this stream, so I can put it up.
You can close that window now.
I'm just going to double check it.
Okay.
Pim, would you say that this statement is accurate? The more sour kefir is, the less carbs it has. Yes, as long as you don't add anything to it, obviously. Some people like to do a second fermentation, adding some, fruit or fruit juice or whatever. Then obviously there are going to be more carbs in it, even if it's sour.
Yes.
Why is it echoing? Can you hear the echo? Boink, boink.
No.
After I end every word, it's like a little boink, metallic.
Oh, yes, I can now.
That's super annoying.
Oh, I think I could do that. See if that helps.
Boink. Yes.
Okay. I've got a set of cans sitting on the desk, which we're probably feeding back. Also, I've adjusted the volume slightly upwards this week because there was a comment last week that the volume normalization wasn't doing its thing. So if there is any clipping today, that's why. It's because I've turned up the master gain. Just let us know if there is any. Not that we'll be able to do anything about it during the stream, but just so I know to adjust it back down a bit.
Indeed.
Chat window going.
It also got the
Jesus,
the
welcome
vibe.
to fucking not only amateur hour, welcome to we're not fucking on duty today at all, are we, soldiers? Jesus Christ, where are we today?
Jesus Christ.
Everywhere.
We're in the back of bumfuck, apparently.
Yes, in the back of bumfuck. That's where we are.
Yes.
Good.
Is it worth taking astaxanthin?
Depends. It may be of value if you have an effective in-practice shortfall in your inherent antioxidant capacity. It may fill a gap if one exists in your particular metabolic pathways. Otherwise, meh.
Me.
Good. Okay, we're on duty now. Oh.
Can you give thoughts on training shoulder as one unit versus separate heads, such a thing as one being better?
I think you'll probably be shocked. You'll be shocked, Abs, to hear that my opinion on that would be it depends on the needs of that athlete.
Yes.
What are they training for? What is the purpose of this training? And does it subserve in that way? If we're talking about purely the ability to adjust one head size with respect to another head size by isolating it for aesthetic reasons rather than anything functional, then yes, it would have a place. If that wasn't the reason, though, I'd be looking for a reason functionally why we need to isolate any one of, let's say, 3 heads of the deltoid, any more than the others. I would have an athlete prepare themselves specifically. Good to see you, Abs, by the way. We did a fantastic discussion a bit back on exercise and prescription and thoughts on that. It was really good. And it will be going up on this channel during the week. Bum, bum, bum.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes.
I think we have super chats, but I can't get to it.
Yeah, well, we'll work it out. Yes, a couple of those. Lovely.
Me
It's
too.
all right, just click outside that window and then click back in.
Those pics are beautiful.
Oh, the pics that you've already seen of Pim Bartia? Yes, we'll put them up on the screen today too at some point, just so that...
Super chat, thank you, Deborah. No question with that.
No questions.
Another one from Patty, 63-year-old female, carnivore 3 years, LDL 400, everything else ideal. Econormal cal score 0 and nuke stress test normal? What is nuke?
The nuclear stress test. It's a form of testing that gets to many things that other forms of testing don't get to in terms of ideal function of various aspects of things.
Never heard of it. Doc shocked and talks of stroke risk. I start to doubt my choices with the noise.
Right. Okay. You've outlined it all there quite clearly. Except the only thing that's in your message that isn't correct is that you're suggesting that an LDL of 400 isn't ideal. Yes, it is. Because your genes have set it there. For a reason right now. Your genes being capable of up or down regulating the level of pretty much anything in response to the environment in which you place those genes at that time. These genes having, well, at least 3,800 million years of experience in doing this, knowing full well, therefore, exactly what they are doing. There will be a reason that your LDL is 400 metabolically.
But is 400 actually a bad thing?
No,
honestly.
There's no evidence whatsoever of a cause and effect nature linking LDL cholesterol estimations, by the way, it's not even measured, it's estimated, with heart disease. No evidence of a causal nature at all. If you were to suspect that something was pathological, then you would suspect corroborative lines of inquiry to show that there is a problem. You would expect abnormal echo. You would expect a calcium score above 0. The nuclear stress test would fail. So the corroboration is not there. The metric that is being used as a predictor is not a predictor. Never has been. I hope that's really clear. You have been fooled by basically a useful idiot who has been trained and mandated to lie to you about science, probably not understanding the science themselves as a cardiologist. I am yet to meet more than a handful of cardiologists who understand this. And I've trained lots of them, and they still are. Their income depends on them not understanding this. And I don't just mean because they'd lose patients by telling people how to get well. I mean, they'd actually be struck off the medical register for telling people the truth about cardiovascular pathophysiology, which has nothing whatever to do with cholesterol. Period.
Very good.
Do you like my pajama talk? It's good, isn't it?
It's excellent. But I'm wondering if the microphone is a bit too loud because it goes up in the red all the time. Yeah.
That's too loud for recording purposes, but last week our broadcasting volume was off.
Right, okay.
So that's why I've done that. What are your guys' thoughts on the sound? Go on, sorry.
Fucking hell. Jonathan says, show us your guns.
My guns?
I don't have any.
I've got a 22 down the other end.
I don't think that's the guns he's talking about.
As for biceps, well, we don't have much of that going on.
In the pyjamas.
I have to push it up from the underside to make
it. I can push too.
Show us your guns, Jonathan.
I have pictures.
Fuck it, get your junk out. Let's see it. Come on. Jonathan's junk live on the show.
And then he asks, what decibel gain do you have it set at the moment?
I've got +7 on the master because I was looking at the master and it looked like it needed about +7. Is it too much? Let us know.
And what are your thoughts on HIIT?
HIIT is an ideal training methodology for many outcomes, purposes, etc. And I fully support the use of it if it's sensibly and appropriately programmed by a duly competent person and executed thusly according. Yes.
If you can magically turn one junk food into a healthy and nutritious food source because you love the taste of it, which one would it be?
Bread.
Bread?
Yeah, or pizza. Pizza's a kind of bread, really. It's a meaty bread.
Does it have to be a food? Otherwise, I would say sugar, because you can make everything with sugar.
Ooh. Or you could listen to that other bloke on the internet that says, you know what you do? You just eat fucking sugar all day. Fucking sugar's all you do. Listen to that guy.
Yeah.
And I don't mean Saladino.
Then I would be fat, tired, fucking diabetic.
Is jumping
probably.
Jumping chat. She loves her jumping chat. No singing.
I feel exhausted anyway right
non
now.
Non cantare.
Even more exhausted than the current state.
Yeah. You'll see we're half packed.
We're like...
Yeah, it's been a big week.
And we still have to wait.
And the energy of the show must go on, so let's lift our game. Come on.
Yes.
Ted, what are you doing?
Not reading questions anyways. What do you think is the etiology of heart disease? Oxidized LDL damaged by free radicals or thrombosis on points in the artery damaged by excessively high blood pressure?
Yes.
There was an or in there.
That's not an or. It's both of those things. They are co-requirements a bit. Well, the oxidized LDL is not actually necessary, but it's often found there. It is definitely a predetermined, predictable patterning of lesioning, which occurs specifically in zones of the vasculature that are exposed to turbulent flow, and those areas are even more clearly demarcatable at higher and higher systemic blood pressure values. So those things are definitely both tied up with it. As to the interplay of oxidization of LDL particles that have been sequestered there and other free radicals and things that go on, yep, sure. But the main causal artifact, the etiology of heart disease, is turbulent flow in those particular zones of the high pressure side of the vascular tree.
What about things like other trauma to arteries?
That can be a predisposing factor, but still, the fact that the lesions occur in such clear, demarcated patternings, not universally across the surface of the endothelium, the causal artifact, the required item is turbulent blood flow. It's a mechanical thing. It causes physical injury to those endothelial cells. then there's an immune response to that injury, then LDL is sequestered and held there by the proteoglycans that bind it up there. But those proteoglycans themselves have to be initiated by the inflammation, which is caused by the injury to the cells at that demarcated site. So the cause of heart disease, atherosclerotic lesioning, is turbulent blood flow. That is made more likely by having thicker blood rather than thinner blood, higher blood pressure chronically rather than lower blood pressure, vascular tone, so then it becomes this rich tapestry. But the things to look to are the hemodynamic causes of the disease, sort those out, and all this speculation about lipids and lipoproteins and fractions of this and size of that and fluffiness of the other thing all go away. Because if those things cause atherosclerotic lesions, then the lesioning would occur fairly universally and evenly across the entire inner surface of the endothelial cells. And it doesn't. We're done. There you go.
Excellent.
Right.
We have a super
Long
chat.
answer, but there we go. Yeah, super chat is good.
Have you or will you watch Fall? RFK Jr. hosts American Health Crisis Roundtable with doctors and nutritionists, and maybe share your opinions.
Probably I will. After the election. Yeah, not that that's really tied up with it, but yeah, I know. I know.
It only works when I deselect it.
Yes. I know.
I lost the question.
Yes.
Back. What's your opinion on goat's milk? Is it true it's the closest nutritionally to breast milk?
I don't know about the second part. The first part, I also don't really know. I've only ever had goat's cheese in memory. But we're going to get some goats in Pimbatia. And we're going to have some goats.
100% sure?
Yeah, goats are a definite. We've got to have goats.
Okay, everyone who says, who thinks differently, please voice your opinion right now. I think goats are cunts. They are just fucking naughty as fuck. They headbutt you. They seem to be a lot of work. And I'm the one who's going to have to take care of them.
I can think of a fluffy dog who meets all of those descriptions as well.
She doesn't jump fences and shit and destroy fences.
But she does piss and shit on the carpet when she feels like it.
Apparently she does.
When she gets a bit stressed because something's happening. Oh, the house is being packed up. Oh, I'm going to piss and shit everywhere.
She didn't shit inside now. Just pissed.
Yeah.
To the second part, as far as I know, that is true.
Okay,
but
good. Awesome, that's why I have you here, because you know things.
And I've had goat milk once. I bought it from the supermarket. It was the most fucking vile thing I have ever tasted in my life. But I would like to try raw goat milk sometime and see if that's different. Okay. People say that it is. So I shall take that with a grain of salt until I have made my judgment, because I have taste buds that are very, we should not say sensitive, very particular.
Persnickety.
Right. I'm currently going through topical steroid withdrawal. Do you have any tips to make the process less painful? I'm already doing carnivore and take several stems Enhance Ultra.
Right, well, that's numbers 1 and 2 on the list. What you now need to do, if you haven't already, is add numbers 3, 4, and 5. It's that video called 5 Health Hacks You Need to Know About, where I'm doing that on the thumbnail. Or there's various shorter versions of it that you can watch and various other edits and at other times and other discussions available on my Fine channel. Do a search on that. That's what you should do, I reckon. Also, you should send me all your money, especially those of you who want to be members of the Grand Poobah state of Pimbatia on our Grand Poobah Council or something.
Right idea then. I've been keto for about 18 months and now carnivore for about 3 weeks. I seem to have started to wake up around 2:30 a.m. to 3 a.m. in the mornings. Any thoughts of why?
Yes, there are various things that can disturb your sleep-wake cycle, including the change to carnivore can do it for the first year or so. And it's all about melatonin, serotonin axis and that interaction that has with the intake of carbohydrates or not. Also, light is very important, especially blue light after dark, in terms of your daily circadian rhythming. And it also depends a little bit where you live in the world as to how effective this will be, depending on how different your seasons are. That will be based on your latitude, largely.
And someone says, Hector, yes. I had that 3 years ago when I started carnivore after being keto. I was under-eating where I would wake up.
Okay, well, maybe you might be under-eating as well then.
I'm wondering if all of a sudden you've gone from a high-fat diet to maybe a lower-fat diet with a lot of protein. So maybe up the fat and see if that helps as well. And if you don't want to eat that much fat, then slowly reduce it.
Fair enough. It's visible penis. Just had to get that in there to wake myself up more than anything else.
Okay, so I click this one and it looks like it's clicked, but it's not.
There we go.
Last week you advised someone that trying to get to 12% body fat was a bad idea. After 3 years on carnivore, I seem to have settled at a 13 to 14%. Do I need to hit the double cream even more?
I am only really interested in your affect, your interaction with the universe. How do you feel? What are your symptomologies that would suggest to you that you have become overly lean, if any? If the answer to those questions are, well, I feel fine, there are no symptoms to discuss, then there ain't nothing to fix because there ain't nothing broken.
If you naturally settles at 13-14%, that's probably what your body needs.
Congratulations, you hateful bastard.
Yes.
Basically. Some of us struggle with that a bit. Well, also it's to do with being well past 50 and basically inactive. That stops soon when we get to Pimbatia, because there's a lot to be done. We should do some photos at some point too. Don't forget
photos. Yes.
The photos.
Let me know when.
Well, anytime you like. We're already Harry levels behind the chat, probably, aren't we?
Yeah, we're not going to catch up anytime soon. Is it okay to exercise at night between 7 and 9 p.m.?
Yes, move on. Let's crack on. Let's get through some of this.
Well, usually when you go to bed, you fall asleep when your body temperature drops. So as long as you're okay with maybe not falling asleep early, because that's going to be very unnatural. It's going to take you a few hours to actually get to a stage where you're going to get any quality sleep after that. So it totally depends on your sleep-wake cycle. Sorry for talking so long.
It's fine.
Is the Randall cycle activated when a baby is drinking breast milk? Is it damaging? Thank you.
Yes. No. It's supposed to happen at that stage of life. The baby's supposed to get a lot of condition, fat, on in order to subserve the energetic requirements of a vast growth spurt. Yes.
Very good. So, shall we do some...
Yes, let's do pictures. So if you click on that one there, yes, and then you click on...
It's gone.
Isn't that fucking the way of it? Motherfucker.
We should come back then.
Yes. Well, you do that and I'll probably have the mouse to open that up again while you put something up.
Let me get a question note.
It's one of those days, kiddies.
Apologies if this is posted twice. Question: is there any relationship between deficient C15 fatty acid and hemochromatosis? You can't have the mouse right now. Can you answer a question at the same time?
Not to my knowledge. Nothing that would convince me. Associations at the end of the day are only just that. They are just associations, and as such, meh. Talk amongst yourselves while I get the pictures of Pimbatia ready for... There it is. There it is. There it is. You can do it.
Okay.
Diddly-da. And that's where that is. And if you want to... Yeah, we'll do the pictures from Pimbatia and then we'll...
Let's do this.
Well, I hope they're all sufficiently scared enough that the mortgage we're going to have to pay, that they'll send us all their money.
Yeah. Scared for us.
In sympathy for our mortgage repayments. Yes. So no, and to finalise on that question about hemochromatosis, there may or may not be a relationship. The strength of that relationship is at best, if it is one, and there's not much there that would convince me of causality. Right.
Are induction cooktops safe, or should I worry about EMF magnetic properties from them?
That's not the sort of thing I lie awake at night thinking about or worrying about. Basically, induction cooktops work on infrared wavelengths. That's how they produce heat. So I don't see what the worry is at all, personally.
Sorry. It's not the next question, it's the next after that.
The next after that one.
Yeah.
She's laughing ahead of schedule. Good.
Is a left circumflex 3.18 CAC score worrisome? Everything else is 0.
Well, CAC scores go, to 1,000 and beyond, and they talk about problematic stuff around 800. So unless you're using a completely different scale, that would seem to be pretty minimal.
That's very low.
Yeah. So no, I wouldn't worry so much. It's probably as a result of stuff that you did as a younger person and will heal in time if you allow it to, by doing all 5 things on that list of 5 things on my health hacks video on my fine channel. Check it out.
Right, so,
Yes.
Hello, Professor. I had 1 pickled cucumber every morning before breakfast. It's my 4th week of carnivore. Are pickled gherkins okay-ish? Same question for sauerkraut and kefir.
No, you must immediately hand in your carnivore card, hang your head in shame and report to Ted for administrative recorrection, whereupon he will probably release the rampant wildebeest or something. And it may even involve a bucket of soapy frogs and that wetsuit with the bottom cut out. We don't know. Ted is a hard taskmaster. There is absolutely no excuse for ever transgressing against the great book of carnivore or something. And yes, you must be publicly named and shamed. I've obviously been joking. Fuck's sake. Okay, if you want to eat a few gherkins and whatever else, it's your funeral, whatever. You're still in the club as far as I'm concerned, because carnivore actually is any animal that eats any amount of meat. A hypercarnivore starts at 70% meat and fat upwards, and 100% carnivore is a bit of a fantasy, actually, even in the natural world. So, that's for another day. Ideally, we say aim for no plant material. That way we know that people will get relatively close, and that's where they should be. Okay.
And there are a few people that need to do that, but most people don't need to do that to get benefits.
I wonder if she's bitching because she's going to calf soon.
No, it's the little one.
There's the little one that's bitching. Maybe the little one's bitching because mum's going to calf soon.
Nah, it's way too early.
Okay.
Being carnivore for about 3 months now, I would say about half the time I have diarrhea. Is there anything I can adjust to avoid this, or is this normal in the first couple of months, as I've heard? Thanks.
It's normal when you change your diet suddenly from one thing to another without doing a sensible transition, which most people do. What you now need to do is all 5 of the things on that video that I've been talking about, the 5 health hacks. Additionally, you might consider a so-called experimental peptide known as BPC, Bravo Polly Charlie, number 157. The BPC stands for Body Protective Compound.
What does she want?
That's good stuff in terms of gut function, it seems. No more than 30 days course at a time, out of precautionary principle. Aim for about 500 to 800 micrograms in tablet form. You can buy them off Amazon, etc., but I would suggest that you get a brand that offers you a lab report with your purchase to verify that it is what it says it is. Okay? Shut the fuck up! Fuck to shut up!
Can you guys hear her? She's not doing it now. She listened to you.
Yeah.
She stopped when you said that.
Fuck to shut up! Oh dear.
Is the assessment that we don't need to drink water correct, as meat and blood have enough liquid to sustain humans?
It's very much individual whether you need to drink water or not to remain alive for any given period of time.
There we go.
Thank you. Determinants are, sweat rate, metabolic use of water in various reactions, rates, release of metabolic water rate, all sorts of things play into it. I would suggest that an average person would struggle to live very long without drinking much water. But there are examples of people living many, many days without drinking any water, doing dry fasting, for example.
But do you even drink blood? Like, most people don't even have access to blood.
No, I don't go around drinking a lot of blood myself.
I personally think that most people would need an additional source of fluids. I think you're going to struggle.
Yeah. Some.
Right, so I tried a dry fast for 2 weeks and passed out during week 2. My mum woke me. What could issue be?
That would sound like possibly a period of hypoglycemia may have ensued.
And there is also a point at where you should stop. Like 2 weeks is a very long time.
It is.
To not eat and drink anything.
Mm-hmm.
You need to listen to your body when you do that shit, so...
Yeah.
I hope you were drinking after that. Anyhow,
yes.
If I wanted to reintroduce a meat I react badly to but love the taste of at some point, pork, how long should I wait after the last time I've had it, or should I just be smart and avoid it?
You could do an experiment with a small amount of it to see how you react. Maybe you are now at a point where your body is able to cope with that, whereas previously it was not. It's a possibility. You would probably want to be in ideal health otherwise. You wouldn't want to go experimenting if there was already something not quite right, because that's just asking for trouble. What do you think? Anything?
I'm wondering if it has more to do with the quality of that pork, and maybe you can just try it with some really good quality pork that you... preferably where you know how that pig has been raised.
We're probably going to have some feral pig meat soon.
Let's hope so.
When we move into Pimbati, one of the issues we're going to have to deal with is that there's been quite a bit of damage to the turf down the back end of the property by feral pigs coming from the pine plantation, coming and rooting around. We might just have to sit down there with some kind of weapon of destruction so that we can have some piggy pork.
Maybe Logan has a pig trap you can borrow.
Maybe.
Anywho, next question. Hello. Do some people do fine just having a keto diet instead, as long as they eat straight vegetables and plants along with 1.75 kilo of lean body mass protein?
Okay, a couple of things here. Number one, there are people doing apparently relatively somewhat well, doing all sorts of diets, even stupid ones. So there's a bell-shaped curve on everything, basically. Some people have really good genes and can get away with really poor diets without too much, and other people can't get away with shit. Straight vegetables. Well, what's straight vegetables? Does that mean ones that don't curve?
Yes, only those that the supermarket approve of.
Yes. No, I think you mean only vegetables and not fruits. Is that what you're suggesting? Well, that's just neither here nor there, really. And what you're talking about there with the protein is there's actually it's 1.75 to 2.25 even grams of protein per lean kilogram of body mass is what you should be aiming for in terms of your protein. You might struggle to get that from plant sources in terms of it being correctly balanced in terms of all the essential amino acids, though. So just eat meat and associated fat, rinse and repeat. If you must eat some plant material, keep it really minimal, says me. It's funny, isn't it?
I think she saw me when I was looking out the window, and then she came here and started mooing at me.
Hey, bitch!
Maybe Vicky hasn't fed him any hay, but there's plenty of fucking grass where she is, so she doesn't need any.
Moo through your live stream and fuck it up for you.
Well, it's not like she needs any food, fatty.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. What amount of carbs activate the bollocks? Yeah, good call.
What amount of carbs activate the Reynolds cycle typically? Example, if I decide to have an apple a day, is that going to kick it on? Thanks.
Oh my god. Okay. The Randall cycle is not an on-off thing. It's not like a light switch. It is a set of faders that go from 100% off to 100% on and vice versa. You have to pull a number of faders in the right direction in the right way to get a blockade of your metabolic pathways and systeming to cause yourself the Miranda cycle associated problem. And the way to do that is have a diet which contains significant amounts of both carbohydrate and fat together. So an apple is not likely to have much of an effect except in the half hour or so after you eat that apple, during which time it will have an effect, absolutely. Because there will be some glucose dumped into your bloodstream. So that will have an effect on what your cells are doing. But not for long. Okay?
Okay.
If you eat a diet, though, that is rich in both carbohydrate and fat all the time, then those faders will be set in such a way as to blockade your system so far that you'll become both obese and inflamed and sick, and you'll probably get type 2 diabetes and all sorts of other things like heart disease if you live that long, and dementia if you're lucky enough to live that long, and probably cancer before that. Yeah.
Got lots of comments when I asked what people thought about goats.
It digests more easily.
Goat milk digests more easily. Goats are troublesome. Get goats, they're worth it. Goats are mean little bastards.
But are they as mean as geeses and gooses? Because she thinks those ones are cunts. Befjärded fittor.
Yeah, there was something else. Can't fucking know. Yeah, I've never had a good experience with goats. Even, I went to the circus as a kid and fucking goats singled me out and went for me straight away. I have... I'm resenting goats and fucking cunt goats here. They actually go for my dogs and not for me. Even though she doesn't have any horns.
Maybe we'll get little goats. Pygmy goats.
Yeah. Thing with I've been looking at what you can get here though, and we are in New Zealand, and we're on the South Island, which is a small island, so
it's bigger.
Yes, but
you
not
mean
in terms of population
yes.
and people selling shit to you.
Yeah.
So it's kind of we're a little bit limited.
We are at the back of bumfuck.
What's available to us, unless you want to pay a shit ton to have it shipped to you from somewhere.
How many metric fuckloads is that?
Don't know. So we were looking at Saanen goats, which are very good milk goats, and they're supposed to be docile, but I'm not sure if they are when I'm there. I'm not convinced.
This bitch. We've been told about her. That fucking Swedish bitch.
Yeah.
There's butter.
Question. Yep. What is LDL and HDL cholesterol?
They are both non-existent things. They are both ideas that have been made up. LDL refers to the low-density lipoprotein carrier of lipids like triacylglycerol molecules and cholesterol and other forms of non-water dissolvable soluble things. And HDL is the high-density lipoprotein transporter, which transports the exact same things, just in the other direction. So there is no such thing as either LDL or HDL cholesterol, because cholesterol comes in one form and one form only. There are no good forms and bad forms, just as, if anything, it's good, because without it, you're dead. Yeah, there we go.
Yes. Someone said if you get enough goats, you will never have to mow your land again.
That's
there
true.
There are other animals that eat grass too.
Yes, we're going to have sheep and cows and ducks and possibly coony pigs,
that
maybe.
Eat grass. I'm thinking of putting my dog on carnivore diet. Any thoughts on the protein to fat ratio?
What do you mean thinking about doing it?
Do it. Do it now.
That is the appropriate diet for a dog, is 100% carnivore. They're one of those animals that don't do well eating much more than a few blades of grass now and then when they need to be sick. So yes, do it. Protein to fat ratio, go. On the dog
because you have no fucking clue.
I don't feed the dogs. It's not my department.
If you are putting an older dog on, well, I will probably do it for any dog. I would start with mostly protein and then slowly just add a bit more fat. But I just give them what I have and they tolerate it. But if you give them a lot of fat, if you give them a lot of organs, that's going to be very rich. So you might have to up the amount of bone that you give them to avoid that they are getting loose poos. So just know that it's not going to harm them, but if they get digestive upsets, just like any human, you wouldn't start out from going on from a sad diet to an 80-85% fat diet. You are going to have some stomach upsets along the way, and you don't want your dog to have to go through that. So just start with mostly protein and, bones and blah, blah, blah.
Very good. I see a question there from our friend Biggest.
I haven't got there yet.
I know.
Way. Can the smell of one's poop be indicative of health issues? Ergo, worse smell, worse health.
I think that's probably too granular, too generalised. Yes, certain things can be detected by various animals, mostly not humans. But I wouldn't suggest necessarily that the worse your poo smells, the worse your health is, necessarily, because there are a lot of things that can affect that day by day. Stuff.
Right. I've heard of a theory that our skulls and jaw structure have changed somewhat since the start of the so-called agricultural revolution. Thoughts? Can our facial muscles undergo more hypertrophy?
Yes, this our friend Biggest Dickus asking questions. Welcome, Biggest. Yes, the theory that your skulls and jaw structure have changed as humans since the start of the Agrarian Revolution is true. Biggest. Yes, that's all Monty Python. Absolutely. Yes, so the jaw has become less broad, less robust. The number of teeth hasn't changed. That's why they've all become cramped up and caused all these orthodontic issues. That and a bit of inbreeding, frankly, doesn't help on such things, to be fair. Can a person's facial musculature be trained? Yes, just like any other muscle in the body.
You just have to do.
You have to do the right things, though. And training is specific. So, yeah, absolutely. Maybe you like chewing on tennis balls or something.
How do you even get that into your mouth?
Some people could.
Well, I'm sure.
Today's the day of silly noises from animals. Clearly.
And cardboard boxes behind the chair.
Right.
Does the fact that the Goths who inherited the Roman Empire were carnivore mean that they were the base chads the whole time?
I think so personally, yes, but that's just my opinion. It doesn't have to be anybody else's. Just remember that in Pimbatia, the rules are that you are not allowed to disagree with myself, Ted, or Pim. Otherwise, it's hate speech.
What if you and I do not agree on something and they agree with one or the other?
Then you're guilty of hate speech.
So they can't agree with anyone then?
Basically, the rules are, I'm the science, trust me, don't question the science.
I'm the queen.
It doesn't matter. Anyone that doesn't recognise my status as the science and safe and effective is not respecting my identity and is thus a bigot and is indulging in hate speech.
You don't respect my authority as queen, clearly, then.
Oh, Ted tells me that I can overrule you and he's the king. I work for Ted.
I'll set the dogs on him.
Fucking try it. Jesus Christ. Can you imagine the uproar?
Mm-hmm. You made me lol in bed with that answer, re my body fat. I'm 57. I wish I had been carnivore in my chubby 30s.
Sure, yeah, me too. Yep. Waiting.
So you can't blame your age anymore.
Billy Noodle.
He's older than you.
It's Billy Noodle.
Okay, I go to bed at 4 a.m. I wake up at 9:30. I exercise from 2 to 3:30 a.m. I wake at 9:30 for work. I do cycling because there's no traffic at 2 a.m. Would any of this be contraindicated for health? Yes.
Yeah, that all looks pretty nasty.
Yeah.
It just depends on how much it's possible for you to adjust your lifestyle based on whatever it is else that you have to do, like job-wise and whatever else. But that doesn't look ideal at all, in short.
No.
Consultancies are available in the show notes beneath this fine video. You'll find them. It's the bit.ly/Bart-KAY address is the one you need for consultancies. You'll join the Patreon subscriber system for monthly consultancies. It's carousel on and off whenever you feel like it. But don't forget when you've done to cancel your payment. Otherwise, you'll keep getting charged for it. Ted says no refunds.
Nice cabin. It's not a fucking cabin.
It's a fucking palatial home of
Yes.
240 square meters.
Yeah.
Cabin.
I like cabins though, but
It's
that's
palace.
not a cabin.
It's Lord Edward Yellow House.
Does it matter if we consume fat and muscle meat separately as long as it's 30 to 50% in relation to the amount of meat we're consuming, i.e. having ghee or butter later in the day after chicken?
Yeah, you do you. That's fine. Yep.
Very good. You do you.
Yep.
Have you consulted with any clients that have history of mold and mercury poisoning?
Yes. Yes, I have.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Moo moo cow.
It's fucking...
Well, she's shut up now and moved away again.
Fucked off over there.
Not sure what her
Good.
problem
Go and eat
is.
some grass over there. It's greener.
Question.
Gobble,
What
bitch.
do you mean by LDL cholesterol estimation, not measured?
I mean, when they give you a result for what your LDL cholesterol supposedly is, they haven't fucking measured it. They've estimated it based on a regression sum with an error. Okay? They never actually measure it, is what I'm telling you. People don't understand the level of fuckery that goes on in this nonsense, do they?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for the question, BLT, BTL zone. BTL zone. Little zone.
What can make blood sugar increase after eating meat? Cells taking fat and leaving sugar out. This happened to my mum, who I've been trying to stop from eating mostly plants for a while and didn't help.
A number of amino acids are themselves gluconeogenic and can have that effect. If you mix your meat with any significant amount of carbohydrate-based material, then the fat in the meat will interact with the sugar in the carbohydrate stuff in such a way as that the Randall cycle will be hard on. Hard on, I just said hard on.
You did.
Yes, several times.
Let's try it again.
It is
Hard
visible
on.
penis season, visible penis season here. And that will cause a problem for you for several hours at least, leading to all sorts of problems like probably obesiogenesis, possibly heart disease, possibly hyperinsulinemia, leading to hypertension, leading to heart disease, dementia if you live that long, cancer if it doesn't get in the way in between. Not good. Just eat meat and fat. Very little plant material. Very little.
It's just a comment. Day 16 of carnivore, my CFS symptoms are easing up. Already keto for 5 years.
Excellent.
Kind of good.
Very good.
Isn't it?
Good to hear.
5 years carnivore, had CAC scan in 2021, score was 1, LAD, all other arteries 0, had another 2024 and score is 11, all LAD. Is diet the only factor that raises it? 59 years old, 59 you female, not overweight.
Well, the damage that's occurring or being expressed in your tissues at this time is normally resultant of stuff that went on 20 and 30 years ago. The fact that you have gained a little bit of calcium in your arteries since going carnivore just means that the process has not yet completely grinded to a halt, and then thereafter will start to wind backwards. You just need to stick with the program long enough, and 11, not very troublesome or worrying anyway. Let's get it back to 0, absolutely, but that may take another several decades.
However, 11 is fuck all.
It is. Fuck all is,
So-
that's a technical term from Her Majesty Pim, Queen of Pirates. You can use that.
In 3 years, if you put 10 on in 3 years, even if that continued for the rest of your life, you're not going to be at risk of any heart disease event. I don't know, if you're 59.
So it's nearly 60 now. Let's say a normal adult lifespan, if everyone actually got over their own stupid ways, was actually more like 120 to 150. You might have half of it left. So you might have well and truly an opportunity to get to 0 by then.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's also not impossible. Although I heard it's really, really hard to reverse it, but I don't think it's impossible.
Right.
Question. Are you guys living there right now?
25th of this month is when we get to actually move into Pimbatia.
Yes.
Not yet.
Very nice. Did you pay millions for this?
Yes.
Yeah. Now we're in debt for the rest of our lives. Can oxidized PUFAs recover from oxidation enzymatically or via glutathione or anything, or is it oxidized DHA, just good for nothing stuff waiting to be excreted and replaced? No recycling?
I'm not aware of the mechanisms. It's not something I've actually studied in terms of the effect of oxidizing, in other words, reducing, specifically with regards to the enzymes or glutathione or anything else. My teaching and practice has always been around preventing the oxidation from occurring in the first place.
I think if it was possible to enzymatically do that, the oil industry would use that. Even if it was really expensive, they would put that in their products.
Yeah, and the body would do it if it could, wouldn't it? And given that we see oxidized PUFAs inveigling their way into tissues, then we know that the body is not capable of doing enough of that, if any at all. Not something I've studied carefully, though. Good morning, Harry Louse, King of Tasmania. Good to see you, mate.
Indeed.
Mm.
Right. Is it true that it's better to breathe through your nostrils rather than from your mouth while exercising? If so, why?
Yes, I'm told in my training when I first learned exercise physiology 20 years ago or more. Why? Don't know. They didn't tell us why, they just told us what.
Okay, so Dr. Ab says, did super chat earlier if you could find it. Let's see if I can find it. Can't find any fucking thing here. Nothing.
No.
Unless it's the one that you did very early on, which we already had on the screen.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scrolling all the way back.
It was about the deltoids.
Oh, yeah, the deltoids question, yes.
Nope, can't see another super chat.
You'll have to rewind, Abs, if you want to see that one. It was near the beginning, wasn't it?
Yeah, but we already answered that one. So if we missed one that it has not come up here, then just put it in the comments now, the question, and I shall get it up on the screen. Jean Writes Music says, love you guys.
Thanks, Jean. Love you too. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Why would she?
Exactly. We're great. We're a constant fucking delight, both of us.
Yes. Of course.
Yes.
Right, here's a question.
Good questions.
Electrical grounding seems important. Is there a way to keep electrical grounding in home or for those who live in apartment complex?
Yes, there are various bits of grounding kit that can be connected directly to a standard electrical outlet, which connects solely to the ground circuit, actually. It's really just a connection of the ground pin to your body through a piece of kit. Yes.
Is glycation damage from glucose in the bloodstream taking place at all times, or is there a certain amount necessary to set off glycation damage?
It is a curvilinear relationship that seems to have what people would impose as a threshold value below which there isn't a problem and above which there is, and it's the point of the highest angle, I guess, of that curve. So yes, it is concentration dependent, basically.
I think they can hear her.
I think she's going to be tasty at some point.
That cow just figured out you guys are carnivore.
I think she's like, these cunts are going to eat us. Fucking.
I think she's going to be bred probably, so she's lucky she's a she. I suspect anyway, but
she's getting on.
She's 2 years old in December, and she's not nowhere near as big as her mum.
But her mum's a fat bitch.
Oh yeah.
God damn, that's a huge bitch. And she's pregnant again. Fucking hell.
Straight vegetables as opposed to woke vegetables.
Yes, woke vegetables. Yes. I saw a good meme during the week of there was a patient sat in a doctor's office going, oh, I've hurt my knee. And the doctor says, well, which one, the left or the far right? Good. Yeah.
So Tulip loves the cow.
Good. We love you too, Tulip, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Okay.
We spread the love around here widely. We're sluts.
Yes. I've got a mate just down the road from Pimbatia. I'm sure he would love to bring a boomstick and help you out with the pig issue.
Yeah, sing out. Yeah. Yep. We've already got one of those people lined up, but the more the merrier, because I suspect there are quite a few pigs coming through based on the level of damage that they're doing.
Yes, and we know nothing about processing pigs, so if he knows that
So if
shit.
he also knows how to butcher a pig, that would be handy. Otherwise, it'll be
and
trial and error.
has a big pot to scald the pig in.
Yeah. So we're talking properly, 200 kilogram animals, probably, mostly. Big ones.
Terry, I hate goats!
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. So you're basically a
sheep?
bigot, then. You're a racist against goats.
How about sheep? We're getting sheep too.
We are getting sheep, yep.
But he's kind of sold on the goats now for some fucking reason.
Plus minus. I just think they're useful for doing a lot of cleanup around the place.
That they will be. I think I'll put in my... What the fuck? Seriously, go fuck yourself. Don't ask some questions
Tell
several
us what
times.
you really think.
So annoying. I just put the question up and I've already read it. Stop asking the question several times.
Right, good.
Jesus. Where does the measurable potential difference between the human body and the ground come from, which can be reduced by grounding, free radicals, and inflammation?
Yes, largely. Plus, I mean, basically the metabolic process in and of itself inherently leads that way towards there being a positive potential there. Even with a grounding mat, you're not going to get it to absolute zero because process will keep driving that process. Yeah, process. Stick it in your family album.
You want those goats, do I?
I know Goatee Garth Davis would like to see them, wouldn't he? Yeah.
Are you going to start doing university lectures and uploading them?
I did try that for a bit, not strictly university lecturers per se, but more professional collar and tie stuff. And it's another channel which is linked underneath every single one of my videos, Tulip. It's called the Institute for Scientific Integrity or something like that, and it's also known as something to do with Bart K, Professor Bart K something. It's another YouTube channel. Nobody watches it. They would rather hear me call someone a fuck trumpet.
Yes.
And learn science, mostly. Whatever.
Do you lose any significant amount of protein in the process of cooking meat? Would you have to account for there being less macros than is on the packaging after cooking?
Nope.
Yes. Off with the head.
Whose head comes off?
I don't know. But we have a super chat.
Yeah, good.
100 danska kronor. Down payment for my Pim Bartia citizenship.
Excellent. Johnny Hansen.
Here we got the second one.
Välkommen till Pim Bartia.
Yes. Just don't speak Danish to me because I don't understand.
Mork de bork.
Not quite.
Does
a microwave nuke the nutrition out of food?
No. Nope.
Yes. I don't know who said that or why, but duck eggs are wonderful.
Yes. Good.
Ducks are going to be the first animal. I'm not sure what we're talking about. We got to counter to that move, Pim. Okay.
Which move are we countering?
Probably something we said 15, 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
When are you going to make a good woman of Pim? I am a good woman. We don't buy into social fucking structures that are forced upon people just for the sake of doing it. So the same way as we're going to make our own food because we don't want to support the
We're also going to make
idiots.
our own electricity, and we've already got our own water supply that comes from the property itself. We are very close to achieving off-grid, independent, sovereign nation status.
Yes. So when the Cocoa Pops is arriving, we will be mostly good.
More to the point, when are you going to make a good man of me? Good fucking
Impossible.
Fucking. Oh, shit. A good man, you say. A good man is hard to find, they say, but even better, a hard man is good to find.
Yeah. Could you tell us if homocysteine is a problem for people eating a carnivore diet?
Not in my experience, on average. It occasionally rears its ugly head, but it's not a major issue. Why would it be?
Right. Is it true that bioavailability of calcium in dairy products, mostly milk, is piss poor? Can the drinking of milk leach calcium from the body? And if so, how does that work?
I think all of those are fairly theoretical concerns. I think the body has powerful homeostatic mechanisms that it utilizes in all but the most extreme of dietary insufficiency or over-sufficiency, as the case may be, per various different items. You would have to really, really consume vastly too much dairy to cause such a thing to even be remotely likely, I would suggest.
Okay, we got the Dr. Ab's question here then.
Good.
Super chat from earlier equals curious. What do you think it is about leucine that makes it uniquely able to connect to mTOR cestrin? Can't be the hydrophobicity when alanine and valine are hydrophobic too?
Hydrophobic, probably.
Probably.
Yeah. No fucking idea, Abs, on that. I'd have to go and look it up. While I have vast knowledge, I don't have encyclopedic knowledge of every potential reaction and interaction.
Isn't Harry here? He might know.
Oh, he probably would.
It's always when we don't know, it's Harry here.
Harry, if you're
Harry,
there,
where are you?
pipe up on the leucine issue. I don't know. It could be anything.
Yes, here's an interesting question. Should people be icing injuries to reduce swelling, or is that outdated advice? Thanks.
I spent a number of years as a member of the St. John Ambulance Squad in another life as a younger man, and we were always taught that icing injuries was the thing to do. I've never reviewed the recent statements by various people suggesting that it probably isn't the thing to do, although I can kind of understand probably where they're coming from without even hearing their explanations. I could probably guess. I'm suggesting people like Dr. Ken Berry, who says don't do it. And if you want to know why he says that, probably you should ask him. But I suggest it's to do with, well, the swelling is occurring for a reason. So we should not actually interfere with that. Something like that, I would guess.
With the same logic, you should allow yourself to have a high temperature when you are ill, because it has a function.
Yes.
So you're just delaying the problem if you're taking painkillers to reduce that, which you may or may not have to do. I mean, at some point it's going to be way too high for you to survive that, but most people are not.
Same concept in people who are athletes or want to be athletes who are telling me they want hacks to reduce their recovery period, to make them recover more quickly so they can train again sooner. No, dickhead. That's actually attenuating your training response, because the training response is the healing, the exercise is the injury. So you need to minimally injure yourself and maximally recover, not the other way around. You buffhead.
Buffhead.
Buffhead. I told you I'm a constant fucking delight, didn't I?
Oh, yes. It's so delightful here all the time. I'm a 60-year carnivore, 44 male, 6 feet tall, 11% body fat, 155 pounds starting weight, 400 pounds. I eat once a day in the AM. Only exercise I get is daily life chasing my kids. Any advice for the next 6 years?
Based on what's happened in the last 6, keep fucking doing exactly the same thing.
11% body fat. We just got all these freaks here now.
Well, I mean, okay, maybe you are. Depends on where you've got that number from and what piece of kit we use to determine that. Probably actually not in reality that low, but okay, fine, whatever. The story you're telling there is of an amazing recovery, and great job to you for losing so much excess fat off your body. Yes, keep doing exactly what you did to achieve that, because you'll plateau out at your genetically determined ideal, which will be around about now, based on those numbers. So you probably just keep doing the same thing to maintain it, really.
Coming to the supermarket near me is flash frozen bag of sardines, £2, great price, may contain traces of gluten on the bag. Can it be worth it still? Not canned and not in...
Shit oils.
Shite oils.
Shite oils. Possibly.
That probably just means that they processed it in a factory that has processed something with gluten before.
Yeah.
Maybe breaded fish or something like that.
Probably.
I wouldn't worry about it, unless you are extremely sensitive to gluten. You most likely won't get any gluten in there, I don't think.
They have to put that warning there for people who are severely allergic and could potentially die.
Yeah. Is metabolism speed or ratio a real thing? Is having more muscle really increasing such speed?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, it increases the total use of resources to maintain a metabolic rate ideal for that particular body composition. And yes, if you're more muscled, you have more metabolically active tissue than someone who is less muscled. Ergo, your both absolute and relative metabolic rates will increase with respect to yourself in a less muscled, fatter format.
And the other person, but follow-up question is, how you increase your metabolism naturally? Get more metabolically healthy, have more muscle.
Be more active, appropriately so.
Dial in with the circadian rhythm. Do not bike at 2 a.m.
Yes.
I don't think that is good for you.
No 2 a.m. biking.
No, you should be sleeping then. How to reduce abdominal fat in carnivore? Is it any different from reducing body fat?
There is no way to spot reduce. Your fat will come off your body in a genetically predetermined pattern according to its evil machinations. And almost certainly the bit around your guts will come off absolutely fucking last.
But that could also be a hormonal thing. If you're stressed, blah, 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 take care of that, because that's going to prevent you from losing that fat.
Anytime you're inflamed, you won't lose fat as well.
Then we have someone else, and again, a follow-up question, pretty much. What is the best thing to do for recovery from chronic stress-related indigestion, poor absorption?
Those 5 things in that video. Plus the BPC, probably. Yep.
Dr. Elizabeth Bright says that you don't need any sun for vitamin D, just animal fat and an active thyroid. Opinions?
That doesn't sound correct to me based on my understanding of the mechanisms required to make vitamin D under the influence of UV light from the sun. She might be right, but if she is right, she's right about something that I don't know anything about. It doesn't sound right.
The sun has so much more than just vitamin D, so why would you do that? I think you're setting yourself up for problems if you do that.
There you go. Fuck, we knew we could rely on Harry. There he is.
Where's Harry?
Two down from there. You go, Harry. Thank you.
Cestrin-2 pathway lowers endothelial dysfunction and lowers LPS as well.
What was that to do with mTOR, though? Come on, Harry.
I have no idea.
Good.
Blah, blah, blah question. Here's one. How would the kingdom respond to a sortie of hostile vegans on hang gliders assaulting the realm? How would King Tedious respond?
Tedious or tedious?
No, he's tedious.
Well, I think any such declaration of war, any invasion of our sovereign territory, that of Pimbatia, would be met with appropriate levels of amusement, disdain, and laughter, I should think. And possibly we will release the rampant wildebeest. Probably we will issue many, many wetsuits with the bottoms cut out. And Ted will be at it with his bucket of soapy frogs, I imagine. I might take a few pot shots myself from the fence line as well.
Yes.
Only I'll be firing lead slugs. Get off my land!
Maybe we need to get an army of turkeys or something.
Well, it sounds like the army of turkeys just arrived in hang gliders. Maybe we'll wring their necks and eat the bastards.
I mean, the gobbledygoo turkeys.
So soyified. God, could you imagine eating a vegan? All that soy?
So, this is a comment more than a question, but I'm going to read it anyway. I'm torn on this because when my kids smack or hit each other and it would normally bruise, it seems icing prevents bruising. And if I don't ice it, it seems more likely to bruise. Just my anecdote.
Sure, but
a bruise doesn't have the same function as a twisted ankle or something. So I would just ice it because why not?
Yeah. So in reducing the hemorrhagic damage, the loss of blood into the surrounding tissues via damage to the capillaries by icing it, the trade-off might be that you are inhibiting an inflammatory response that would have been needed to assist in the healing process in some way. Don't know.
Yeah. It's going to heal anyway, but
yeah.
I think in general, it might just take longer. And does it matter if there's less pain? Maybe that's preferable. I don't know. Just doesn't feel like it's super important. Okay, so Thomas DeLauer has a newish video out saying honey helps you lose fat. He shows some studies. Have you seen the video?
No.
I think he might need some correcting.
I suggest you're probably correct in his need for correction. Buckle yourself up, Thomas. Here I come. Maybe, if I can be asked. We're busy moving house.
Yes, soon.
Soon. And getting ready to move house.
Almost 3 weeks. What are your thoughts on bioavailable curcumin extracts such as nanoparticle formulations? Are they as healthy as people claim they are, or are they actually toxic?
I have no real opinion on that specific intervention. It's not something that I've put my name behind. It's not something I've looked into with huge detail. I doubt very much that there are huge benefits to be had. I would need to see something pretty convincing.
All right. Nick Hebert. Is that how you say it? Hebert. Why is there an R then? Is that like herbs?
It's misspelled. His name is Hebert.
Okay. Yeah. Thinks that consistent associations in epidemiology that are adjusted is sufficient to draw causal conclusions. He would not pass stats classes, would he?
Not only would he not pass stats classes, but he did not pass any classes whatsoever, actually, at any level beyond high school diploma. He's a boy who seems to like hiding in his mummy's basement and demanding references from people like Sean Baker that would prove that a cow is indeed bigger than a chicken. Why would anybody give even a second of their valuable time and attention to a spotty little gimp like Nick Hebert, who doesn't even understand inherently that a cow is indeed bigger than a chicken? I kid you not. He demanded a reference from Sean to prove that point. Okay, Nick, we're done here. There's no point talking to someone like that or paying any attention to someone like that. He obviously has mental health problems. Get some help, Nick. Nick. Get some help, Nicholas, son. And get out of your mum's basement, for fuck's sake.
You can have this basement.
Yes, you can have this one when we're done with it.
Harry says that leucine requires cestrin 2 to activate mTOR.
There you go. That's more specific. Okay, thank you. Good. Like it.
I would like to see Bart and Dr. Paul Mason do more content.
Well, suggest it to him. I know Paul, but we're not great mates or anything like that necessarily that have done a lot of repeat work together. Quite happy to, if he wants. Paul's great.
There we go.
Yes.
Sir, Mom.
Yes.
How much % of my carnivore diet can be from fatty fish like salmon? Thank you.
Well, it can be 100% if you want it to be, because it's your diet and you're in charge. Would that be a good idea? Probably not. I usually say to people, look, base your diet on 80% red muscle meat, ruminant animals ideally, and 20% all other animals in total. If that's all fish for you, well, okay. If you also want some pork, chicken, anything else that isn't fatty fish, you'll have to apportion it under the 20% total, would be my approach.
Yeah, but you're not gonna die or get sick from salmon if it's wild fucking caught, not farmed, because that would probably not be a good idea.
Maybe you get lead poisoning.
Potentially, yeah.
If you eat 10 metric shitloads, i.e. a fuck ton.
I guess so.
Yes.
I've just been diagnosed with Tarlov cysts on mid-back and sacrum. Would your cerebral stem cell product be of any help?
Potentially, it has the ability to intervene if your body deems that to be a priority right now based on whatever else is going on in your body as well. The cerebral product does exactly what it says it does on the tin, and that is, it causes your bone marrow to release more of your own adult stem cells than it would otherwise. Those stem cells are then directed by your body to do whatever they're going to do. Ergo, we can't make therapeutic claims specifically of any nature, but we can say it's entirely possible that cerebral products can be associated with the improvement in just about any condition at all, so long as it's not genetically determined, like Down syndrome. It won't fix that.
What is Tarlov cysts? I've never heard of those.
They can be a build-up of tissue in certain areas. I'm not sure of the exact makeup of the Tarlov cyst. I would have to look that up.
Wouldn't dry fasting be amazing for that then?
Possibly. It's something that I have heard of many years ago and can't even remember the exactitudes of. But yes, any kind of dysfunction of that kind, cereal products absolutely can, theoretically, be of assistance, as might dry fasting be. Yes.
Probably longer dry fasting though. Maybe not 2 weeks,
2 weeks
necessarily. No. One could do several so kind of up to a week sort of dry fasts. And I'm not talking about 24-hour dry fasts. I'm talking about probably between 3 and 7 days at least.
Yes.
DHA is susceptible to oxidation, especially in the brain, where as little as 1% can be sufficient to counteract the protectiveness of reduced DHA. If GSH can't handle this, how do we get away with eating?
Do we? What's your evidence that we get away with it?
One has to eat at some point. Can't be dry fasting.
Eating fish, specifically. The fish symbol at the end.
I see. Eating fish.
Yeah. I wouldn't base my diet on fish alone. I don't think that's a good idea. At all. I'd probably eat 2% of my intakes of fish. Maximum, really. Probably, isn't it?
I can't remember the last time I cooked you fish.
There you go.
It's probably 6 months ago.
There you go.
We haven't had any fish for a long time.
For a long time.
We did have prawns not that long ago, though.
Prawns.
If they count.
You will eat the sea bugs, the prawns, and you will be happy. The sea bugs.
We had it once.
Sorry.
Not that long ago.
You will be happy.
I think this is a question, but I'm not sure. Jim Bro Clown tries to tell me carnivore lacks vitamin C, folate, and fiber. Could I get a short, obvious reply to this bollocks, please? I ask as he may listen to a professor.
Right.
Bollocks!
Right, so your need for vitamin C is taken care of from the meat. There is a non-zero amount of vitamin C in meat, and as a person eating solely meat, your requirements for vitamin C seem to be in the nanograms per deciliter of blood range, almost none. There's almost no vitamin C in meat, and that's the perfect amount. Folate, well, if the diet lacked folate, then many of us carnivores would be falling over dead left, right and centre, wouldn't we? Because a folate deficiency is very, very serious indeed. Ergo, it's not occurring, so what a load of absolute fucking nonsense. Deficient, of course, would probably be defined as on the basis of what the RDA is for that thing, and those things are not based in science anyway. They're boards of people that sit around and say, how much should we tell people to have of this stuff? And fibre, your exact requirement for fibre as a human being is not 1 single gram ever. None at all. How's the weather in Puhoi today? We have overcast in Tasman district.
I haven't had the best weather in the last 2-3 weeks.
No, it's been raining.
4 or 5 maybe. Just thinking about it. My wife just did a 7-day dry fast with a 7-day recovery. It did wonders for her. She said it was hell, but the end result in her gut were amazing.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm also sold on it.
Many stories like that. There are many.
I think dry fasting is something that more people should consider if they have any sort of health issues that seem to be difficult to deal with in any other way, and probably a really good longevity insurance if one can get their head around actually not eating and drinking for a period of time. I'm definitely going to do more dry fasting. Right now, I think we're both too fucking up in the air to focus on any such things. But
3.5 days seems to be my limit so far anyway. Personally.
Maybe I just have to refocus, do a dry fast to get my mind off this move and everything that goes on around it. Just seems a little bit hard right now.
Go jump in the duck pond.
What?
Go jump in the duck pond.
Why would I do that? It's cold.
Or the swimming pool.
Also cold.
And currently green.
Okay. Question. LDL brings 2 cells and HDL takes excess to be deleted, released from body. How do you know what your daily cholesterol limit is? I mean, the point from which more cholesterol will be deleted.
Cholesterol is not deleted. If you consume vastly more than your body thinks it could possibly need right now, then it will be excreted in the feces. However, 80% of the cholesterol extant in your body at any given time was synthesized by your body from non-cholesterol precursors. Yes, the LDL takes cholesterol and other lipids out to the cells, and HDL brings remnant particles back for recycling in the liver. Mostly those particles are expunged of the lipid. They are just the remnant lipoprotein, the empty husk, which goes back under normal circumstances to the liver for a reconditioning and a recycling. If there is excess lipid there, some of that can be taken back to the liver for reprocessing there in the liver, but we're not deleting anything. And your cholesterol limit, well, at some point you'll get the shits because you've eaten too much of meat and fat, feet and mat.
Yes. So, did the pilot study you and Pim did examine fish oil with antioxidants? Is fish oil with antioxidants any less oxidized than fish oil with no antioxidants? I didn't actually look at that, and some of the samples that I had, I just got samples, so I don't even know what was in them. But from experience, I know that most fish oils do not contain antioxidants, and what they put in, at least where I worked, was just messy vitamin A, basically. So I can't give you an answer.
Okay, good. More research is required.
Tulip did a 7-day dry fast recently. Good on you.
Excellent.
I think that was that.
Very good.
We are done for today.
Right, at 11:32 a.m, an hour and a half or so after we started, after the fucking around that occurred at the beginning. So that's probably pretty good. Well done, team. Thank you for the few of you that did Super Chat today. You didn't pay our mortgage, even for the first day today. So come on, we need more from you. We must bleed for the sovereign nation of Pimbatia, for which the national anthem goes a little bit something like this. Steak and eggs and eggs and steak. That's what you should have for your breakfast. Delicious. Eggs and steak and eggs. Just making sure you heard. We got it. And also don't forget that currently it's visible penis season.
Is that what your penis looks like?
I think you should hit that button. Doesn't have to reselect it.
I think so.